Bitcoin still hovering around that $90,000 level. BlackRock has deposited a whole lot more Bitcoin and Ethereum into Coinbase. We've got FOMC minutes today, NVIDIA earnings in after hours. Let's talk about all of that and a little bit more. But before we get going, check out the channel memberships, especially that stalagmite level where you see the real-time trade posts and members-only videos. You see how I'm handling this very difficult time with those posts and members-only videos. Get a little more insight than on the general channel. You can also check out SodaStraw if you just want to support the channel. You get the badges, you get the emojis, priority reply to comments. If you do stalactite, you support the channel just a little bit more, and you get member shoutouts on top of that. Anyways, let's get going. So first of all, let's look at the economic calendar. Today, we've got FOMC minutes, and we got Philadelphia Fed manufacturing survey. And that is, housing starts will be interesting. Building permits will be interesting. Trade deficit, more or less. That one's not super interesting. Thursday, U.S. unemployment report delayed. Man, I cannot talk this morning. U.S. employment report delay that was delayed from September is coming through. Jobless claims, those will all move. Then we got 3 Fed speakers tomorrow, and then on Friday some more. Also, next week, I will be leaving for Poland on Saturday, so there probably won't be a weekly closes video this weekend. Maybe I'll try to see if I can fit it in, but that's also a possibility. And videos will be sporadic next week as I will be traveling in Poland for the week. Gonna go check out some Christmas markets. It's gonna be a nice little time. Anyways, let's go over here. You can see the first 3 things I'm seeing on my X feed this morning are all the same. They're all the same thing. BlackRock deposits over 6,000 Bitcoin and over 64,000 Ethereum into Coinbase, and that's coming up on Whale Insider, Ash Crypto. I don't know who Ted is, but yeah, also reporting that exact same thing here. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that BlackRock itself is selling, but people that are investing in the ETFs clearly must be doing some selling, and in order to balance the ETFs, they have to sell themselves. So that doesn't mean like it's the portfolio of the institution itself that are selling, but somebody is selling. That's basically what that means, because you don't move that much. You don't expose that much crypto to an exchange unless you're going to do something with it, which in this case would mean to sell it. So again, doesn't necessarily mean that BlackRock itself has lost their faith in Ethereum or Bitcoin or anything, but maybe some of their clients have. That's all. But it does show that, that those are probably going to get sold. So we'll look for that in the price action here today. See how it happens. Maybe we'll get a bottom. Those are some pretty big numbers. Maybe we'll get a bottom today. We'll watch that closely as well. One more thing. This is from yesterday, but this is kind of interesting. The most bullish opening options trades in the market as of yesterday. We had UNH, BMNR, Rivian for some reason, PDD, so Po Dua Dua. That's Chinese market. Intel, also kind of interesting, and Plug, that one, actually quite interested in that being the case. Just something to note and take a look at. We're not going to look at it any further. That's all. I just thought it was interesting. Anyways, let's go in here. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. See on super charts. I don't know why it didn't just open, but okay, whatever. I don't care. Here we go. All right. Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin. I'm looking for that next push up. I am looking for something I can get behind. Let me go ahead and change this. I want this to be a 1 week. Thank you. I'd like to look at the 20 and 50 on the weekly there. Okay, there we go. So this orange dash line is the 50 weekly moving average. The blue line is the 20 weekly moving average. And then the solid ones are the daily. Anyways, the 9, the 20, and the 50. So the 50s pointing down, 20 pointing down. Basically right now, Bitcoin is in a downtrend. This is what this is indicating. So if we come here and I turn off all these drawings because they're in the way right now, this orange line right here is pointing down. Okay, that sucks. That's bad. Another thing I'd like to note is if I come over here and I go to hide, I got all these moving averages, right? Let me hide the 9 real quick. So I don't really need the 9 right now. It's just getting things a little messy. So right here, see this 20 moving average on the daily? As soon as it got beneath that little bump right there, we started dropping off pretty dramatically, right? The 50 is now sloping downward. We got the cross here of the 50 and the 200 on the daily. That's generally not good. Now, that is often used as a bottom signal, to be honest. So we'll have to watch that carefully. But you can also see the 50 weekly starting to flatten out as we're beneath it. The 20 weekly starting to point down. So those two things are not good in themselves. So what am I looking for right now? So honestly, I'm here. I'm looking for price to get above this 9. You can see that if I bring this back on, I want to see price get above the 9. And I want to see something maybe akin to this. Something kind of like where it comes up above the 9, touches it from above, or gets close to it, and then just starts coming up towards the 200, which would currently be about 110. All right. Currently, that would be about 110 for the 200. That is where I'd be like, I'd probably sell whatever swing I took on Bitcoin and wait to see what it does there. See if it's going to go higher and create a bullish structure above the 200 and then continue on, or if it's going to come back down to new lows. I am actively looking for a swing I can get behind on Bitcoin right now. Okay, I'm actively looking for that. My idea right now is this white line up here, but that would actually be quite high. So I'm looking for now. I'm thinking I'd like to see that, the 9 maybe start to curl, price to come above it, try to look like it's going to touch, and then move up to about 110. 110 is where I would sell right now, currently, and then I would re-enter if it showed bullish structure above the 200. That's what I would do. If I take Bitcoin to the weekly chart, turn off all the drawings because they're annoying. I said turn off all the drawings because they're annoying. All right, anyways. Yeah, this is a confirmed closure. I don't care what anybody says. This is kind of a confirmed closure down here. We went deep beneath the 50. We closed down there and we went lower. That sucks. Now, we could come back and test it up here at 102, 103 to the 50, test it from below, and then carry on. We could totally do that. So we could see something kind of like price action comes up like this and then starts to roll over and come back down towards like this little spike here around 80, 84, or if it gets real bad, 76, that little spike down there at 76. Those are all potential for Bitcoin. So we're looking for that stuff right now. Okay. But this is bad. This candle right here that we're getting today, or this week right now, that's bad. We got 2 big negative volume candles, and we're just kind of stacking on that candle, and that's bad. Stacking on that candle is bad. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing come down to about 84. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And that might be what happens if all this Bitcoin that just got moved to Coinbase, reported as of an hour or 2 hours ago, gets sold today. If that gets sold today, yeah, we could probably hit 84. And that might be the bottom. That might be the bottom because we are in extreme fear right now. And basically any new bottoms that are made might be the opportunity. So we're looking real carefully for that stuff. Okay. Let's take a look at the SPY. Let's just look at the SPY. So overall on the SPY, what I'm looking for right now on the SPY is I want to see it hit that 20 week. I want to see it get close to that 20 week. That 20 week is currently at 651. Which would be a little bit more downside. Not much more downside, but if we go from the very top, down to it, that's really just a 5-6% pullback. That's pretty average. That's pretty average. And if we start to show a turnaround on the SPY, I'd be looking on like the 1 or the 2 hours. So let's look at the 1 hour first, see what we see here. Okay, 1 hour is not looking too bad. In fact, this is kind of exactly what I wanted to see. So let me go over here. Let me get the drawing on page. So we got a low, we got a high, we got a higher low. Now the fact that this right here resolved to side of a lower high, that sucks, but I'd like to see this pull and resolve to a high above that. Now let me clear all that nonsense. So basically I want to see it hold this line, and I want to see this little pullback right here into the 20 resolve to a move up to the 50, which would take out this high right here at 661, 662 on the hourly. That's what I'd like to see. I get above that, I'm feeling pretty good. Well, I'm not feeling pretty good until we get above the 50 at 666. But yeah, this is looking constructive. We got a higher low there in the after hours. If this little bull flag right here resolves to a move up to the 50, we'll see what happens at the 50. If we get a bullish structure at the 50, then yeah, I can see this thing moving higher to 674, maybe even a little bit more. If we revert and take out anything under 655, yeah, I'd be saying, okay, well, no, that didn't work. So SPY is showing some constructiveness right here. So like, I kind of want to see something like back here. I kind of want to see something like back here, like this little section right there, right? Where we came down, and then we came above the 20, the little flag, pushed up above the 50 to the 200, pushed up above the 200. held onto it again, and then pushed up a little bit more. I'd like to see something like that, and then I'd like to see it come back up to the high about 683, and then from there, who knows? I can't see that far into the future. Maybe brand new all-time highs, maybe 7,000, maybe, or 700, maybe not. We'll see. If we go to the 2 hour, the 2 hour is a little less clear here. This is looking a little bit bottomy. It's looking a little bit bottomy, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see something like this. Also wouldn't be surprised to see it come back down, test about 655, and then push back up from there as well. So it's not really clear yet on SPY on what it's going to do. So we'll see. That's the 3 hour, not the 2 hour. Why does it keep going to 3 hour? 2 hour. Thank you. Okay, 3 hour was unclear. 2 hours not looking too bad. So yeah, if we're going based on 3 hour, yeah, we could see like maybe a double bottom come in and then a push up. But as long as it's holding here on the 2 hour, the 9 right here, as long as it's holding this 9, yeah, this could resolve to a push up to the 20, which is currently at 665. And if that doesn't hold it down, we can see a push up to the 50, which is about here at about 672. Those sorts of moves are what I'm looking for right now on SPY. And I get that. I'm going to start feeling pretty good about a lot of stuff. One thing I want to bring to everyone's attention that I haven't looked at in a while. Let me see. Where did I put it? I put it in like indices and stuff. Here it is. This one. Boom. All right. MAGS plus Oracle plus Palantir plus AVGO. Remember this chart, this wicked uptrend? Well, we broke that. And then it resolved hard to the upside and then went sideways and broke that. This is very Wyckoff. This is very Wyckoff distributee. So I would not be surprised to see these come down and look where they're consolidating. Look where they're consolidating, right? It came down to the 20-week, and these biggest stocks, this is why I'm a little bit nervous and I'm not like getting behind things right away, and I'm waiting for greater confirmation right now. I'm being a little more cautious. Look at these candles right here, all holding underneath the 20. What does that mean? It means it's probably going to move down to the 200-day moving average, maybe the 50. So on some of our favorite big boy stocks here, we might be looking at a further move down of potentially 15% on this, or even 18% on the MAGS plus Oracle plus Palantir plus AVGO potentially. And this is looking very Wyckoffy. This especially like right here, like we pushed a little higher off of just to get retail real excited, went sideways so the big boys can get out, and then it started to distribute. And then here's where the last big boys will start to get out, right? In this little section here between 780 and 740, right? And then it will flush further down. And then when everyone's in despair, they'll start accumulating again. When we see that sideways movement down here, we're accumulating again. And that's pretty exciting. Now, how low could it go? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, do I think it's going to come all the way back down to like 595? Probably not. Probably not. We're probably going to hit the 200, the 50-week moving average. So let's go look at the how far down is. We don't even have a 200-week on this one. Okay. So yeah, probably the 50-week moving average. That area I'd be looking at on this chart here for an area of like serious consolidation. But once it starts going sideways at a lower level, yeah, because right now I'm looking at a shoulder, a head, all I need is one more little shoulder, and then boom, we could come much lower on this one. So I'm watching that, and that's kind of what's got me a little bit nervous about the market right now, to be honest. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin miners real quick before I let you go. They're not doing great. They're not doing bad. AI's kind of having a little bit of a bounce the last day or two. Semiconductors got absolutely ravaged yesterday. So did the Mag 7. Those got ravaged yesterday. Anyways, Bitcoin's still hanging out at 91. Ethereum's still hanging out at 3,000. Which means, oh yeah, MicroStrategy. This is one I wanted to look at too. I might get behind MicroStrategy instead of Bitcoin for the final swing and look for a move of MicroStrategy up to about 330 or so from here, which would be about, $130 move. That'd be pretty interesting. I might even look at MSTX as a potential because that's really, really cheap right now. I can get 100 shares of that, and that could double or more from here off of a move up to 330 on the regular one. So, or I might just use options. We'll see. We'll see what I decide to do. If you're in Stalagmite, you'll see exactly what I decide to do when I decide to do it. Yeah, but MSTR is looking like that. BMNR might have bottomed at 30. It might have bottomed at 30, so I'm watching that real carefully for signs of a turnaround, and then I might pick up some more BMNR. We got CleanSpark still down. We're at $10 now. CleanSpark is looking bad. We lost that blue line. We got exceptionally close to, let me delete this. We got exceptionally close to this orange line down here at like $10. I think we might touch that. We might touch that. That's very real. We might touch that. Let's go to the daily. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, we might touch that. Now we're under the 200 and we're closing 3 candles here. We got 3 candles. If we can't get above the 200-day moving average again very quickly on CleanSpark, yeah, we might sit and stuck down here for a little bit. So that sucks. Mora absolutely obliterated all the support. All this support back here absolutely obliterated right through it. Went straight for the lowest common denominator on the chart down here. That is bad. Mara is looking like an absolute dog. That sucks. Hive also not looking great. Hive looks like the 20-week. We're forming candles under the 20-week there. It looks like it might want to come down to the 200-day, which is 269. Bitfarms, same sort of scenario. Oh, Bitfarms hit the 20 and is bouncing. So Bitfarms, if it can get back above the 9, it might push to the 50 up at 362. So watch that. Can hit the 20 is bouncing. The 50 could be an obstacle at 120. But if it gets above the moving averages again, yeah, Can could have an explosive move potentially. But that's only if Bitcoin does. Soluna hit the 20 and bounce. That's not bad. That's not bad. The 20-week, the blue dotted line, hit the 20-week moving average and bounce. That's actually not bad. Now, if it gets held under the 9 and it gets pushed back down, then that sucks. But if it can get above the 9, yeah, the 50's inside at 250. If it gets above that, then the sky's the limit again. Hut, 20 bounce, nice. Iron creating a flag under the 50-day. This is a bear flag, so it could come down to the 20-week down about 37. That's very possible. Watch for all that. Riot gonna hit the 200-day, very likely. This is looking very bear flaggy. Now, if we close above like 1450, then yeah, it might go higher. But if not, then it's probably gonna hit the 200. Cypher, same thing, bear flag under the 50, probably gonna come down to the 20-week down there about 1146. It's really important to have a little patience right now, I'd say. Corz, yeah, it's under there, holding under the 20-week 4 days in a row. Yeah, it might come down to the 200 about 13. What about Wolf? Wolf, oh yeah, creating a bear flag. A nice little retracement up to the 9, failure. Could come down to the 20-week about 10. If we lose that, then we're looking at 665. Bit Digital, same sort of scenario here. We're under everything. We're under a worse scenario. Bit Digital's worse. It's under everything. This could be a bottoming area, and it often has been around the 220 area. So watch Bit Digital for potentially a move back up for a return because it looks like it's getting near a bottom down here. CANG, this one never got its time to shine. Yeah, so nothing to say about that. Anyways, that's just a quick rundown. That's all I've got for you today. Go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, comment down below what tickers you're holding right now. How are you riding out in the end of 2025? And what are you looking forward to in 2026 in terms of the market? Check out the channel memberships, especially that's the Stalagmite level where you get the real-time trade posts and members-only videos. Share this video. We're really trying to get to the 10,000 subscribers, and that helps us grow the channel so much. So if you could do that for us, that would be absolutely amazing. Get that information out there. Get Trade Cave up to 10,000. We're so close, just a little over 500 more subscribers away from being at that level. And I would really like to see it before the end of the year. That would make me feel really good about my 2025. And aside from all the money I made. And with that said, have a profitable day.